Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Just so we're all aware, Mike, you are not going to see Multiverse of Madness. You're going to see Beyonce May 6th. That's what we got going. I mean, I respect it.
Show 2.0.
I respect it. Beyonce over everything. You're not finna go out like Miss I'ma laugh in your face at the Oscars to high five Billie Eilish. Also, I hit record about 30 seconds ago, so this is all in the recording.
Excellent. Oh, you know I'm keeping all of this, right?
You're making, like, it's not Marvel's fault that Beyonce said she's going back on tour. Like, that's not Marvel's fault. Like, it's
He didn't say that. We're just speculating. Golly.
I mean, shoot, I'm finna sell my brother to go and see Beyonce for the first time. Get the nosebleed seats. I think Q cost about a nice 12 grand.
You finna sell a black man
to see a black queen? Yes, I am. To see a black queen, we sell these black men.
To Shaka Zulu.
Man, we support these. See. We need to have these black queens.
We had to get Dr. Shadasa up in here. Pre-PhD.
If we get Dr. Hadassah, man, that would be the top tier. I don't think nobody could ever top her being gracing us and blessing us with the knowledge, you know.
Dr. Hadassah Olayinka Ali Young. Google me, then throw your smartphone in the trash. It's making you stupid.
For folks have been speculating, I've been on that spectrum for a minute, but I think I finally found someone who speaks it who articulates it in a way that I support, because I don't give a damn what these Umars talk about, but the Dr. Hadassahs of the world, these black Nubian queens who understand, you see, overstand that these whiteys trying to permeate our main. See, this is why this is just a lead up, the build up to us talking about black animations, because you see, these whiteys have animated our reality based off of their perception or a lack thereof of key realities. You know what I'm saying? They want us to be more coonskin because they're afraid of their own skin. You know what I'm saying? They're more trying to be, they want us to sing the songs of the South because they're afraid we'll be the kings of the North, which is the next level. You know what all this comes down to? What did speak my king?
Liquor.
Anaconda malt liquor.
Tell these people.
Code Kansas, y'all.
Sheesh. What is going on, y'all? It is me. It is your boy Quamon Star G, and welcome to this awesome animation month experience where we talk about black animation, from the dizzying highs to the lows that were out of our controls. We are here to just give it to you guys and just express ourselves and just really just give you guys everything that you want and expect, or didn't want, because if you didn't know, now you know. So, it's me, Quamon Star G. We got the odd Nipotent one, odd geek, the Judge Avia, and Mr. the Black Aaron Johnson himself, Aaron Johnson. So, yes, sir.
Black one.
And also shout outs to Mike. He will be doing what many people believe to be impossible. He will be seeing both Doctor Strange and Beyonce in the same weekend. I don't have the stamina to do that.
Okay, so let's just clear this up. So as in dehydration that I am in, I'm just speculating that, from the other people that are speculating, the other pages that are, keeping us updated on B7, we are in that maybe 2 week round where we could get anything. So I don't know. I was just speculating in the group chat that Lord, please let her announce a tour and her album and the Ivy Park drop and the Netflix documentary. So yeah.
Facts. So you already know we support Mike in all of his decisions, and we will be there every step of the way to chronicle it and his experience and his thoughts and opinions. So yes, sir.
I do feel like we're about to get an album any day now. I ain't even gonna stop.
See. So not only is he going to be dropping coin on Multiverse of Madness on this Beyonce tour,
I already dropped my coin on
also
Multiverse of Madness. I'm gonna tell you now, y'all. I have finessed the ticket box. Like I don't care. Like,
Not finesse.
but I finessed the ticket box. I don't pay my good hard work money. Them babies, my babies, Scarlet Witch and Strange, they deserve my money. I'm sorry. Like
facts on facts on facts. We support it.
Spiders.
Anywho, before Mike say something else that's Zoe Kravitz levels of disrespectful, let us go ahead and hop into the main meat and potatoes, the thing that we were like probably our most important topic of this month of animation. But let's talk about Black animation. So I'm just going to start off and ask, so what was y'all standout? What is the first thing y'all think about when y'all hear Black animation, Black cartoons, Black movie, like whatever encompasses that in the medium that is animation?
There's really two. You know, the one that I watched the most when I was a kid was, of course, the Proud Family. Because that was the first time I saw a Black girl that looked like me just being a regular Black girl having middle school issues. You know, and it was very interesting to see, you know, and all her friends. And also, of course, when I got older and I started, you know, getting more into adult humor, the Boondocks. Of course, the Boondocks will always be a classic because of how it commented on the Black community, but in a very funny but realistic way. And the animation, both of them were just, they like when you see a picture of the Proud Family, like, oh yeah, that's Proud Family. When you see like, you know, the Boondocks, oh yeah, that's from, like, you can spot the animation immediately. And they were both created by Black animators, so that's also a plus.
Factuals. Who got next? Who want to go next? I'll go next, or not.
Go ahead.
No, you
Go
just
ahead.
split second.
Go next.
You sure?
Positive.
So the first thing that sprouts into my mind is the superhero Static Shock. Shout outs to Lil Romeo for doing the theme song in seasons 2 through the rest of the series. That to me is like, yeah, you know, there's others feel more Proud Family than as I got older, Boondocks, but like the one that's like shoots to the front of my mind is the man, the myth, the legend, Virgil Hawkins, aka Static, and seeing a young Black guy superhero and doing superhero things in the DC universe, because that was when they were incorporating him into DC and, you know, not necessarily the milestone things. That was pretty fire. And like that is like just the beginning, and for me at least, like the first thing I think of. And then of course, like Avia, Proud Family, like got done mentioned, Fillmore, the Boondocks. Man, oh man, there was a time where the only thing I would watch was Boondocks episodes, nothing more, nothing less. So you know, that's very much ingrained in my mind. But yeah, that's where I'm coming at. Start kicking it off. So yeah, Mike, you got it.
I think for me, it's gonna be crazy that I say this, but Baby Kids, because I used to watch that all the time as a kid. I thought it was funny to see, you know, this family or this guy try to pursue this woman, and then she turned out to have all these kids and everything. But it was like a lighthearted comedy. The music, everything was good. The jokes. And I'm also saying another one because I think we all have said Proud Family. The PJs. Oh God, you talk about some adult entertainment and hollering. That was good too. You know, even though it was in the projects and everything, and even though that animation, I don't. Would that be? Pull me out real quick. Would that be clay animation, or would that be 2D?
It's stop motion.
It's stop motion, so it is stop motion. Okay, so yeah, that that being that being a moment where I'm hollering like oh God, I'm screaming. Let's take him out real quick. Oh, that was funny. No, but I know both of these are adult content and adult animation, but I just, like y'all both had said, Proud Family. I did watch the Proud Family, but for me, it would be Bebe's Kids and the PJs. Baby Kids was a movie. The PJs was an actual TV series on Fox. So yeah,
super. Also, why was it like on my dead chair and y'all was laughing? I had to go take care of some, check on the nephew. Had to check on him. And then I'm getting kicked out. What happened?
Oh God, that was funny. Like, oh, because I was making a point, and I was like, "Wait, so I talked to all y'all real quick to ask this question," and you was nowhere. I was like, and that shit was funny. Oh, you was nowhere to be found.
See, now that's making it seem like I wasn't gonna listen. I'm like, no, I'm checking on him to see if he okay.
Wasn't listening to me. Dang.
I was checking on my nephew downstairs, watching TV, making sure he wasn't doing what he was supposed to.
Because he believes the children are the future.
I do.
Mm-hmm. He's helping Black youth.
Yes.
Yo, because I'm Black and I'm back. Black History Month. Black History Month 365, 24/7, 366 every 4. You know what I'm saying?
You say 366?
Aaron, gone. Yeah, 3 extra day in on every leap year,
Period. You want to know what I think of when I think of Black animation?
Spit it. Spit facts.
Niggas.
Wait, so let me just get this straight. The first thing you think of, and when you think of Black animation, is niggas.
That's what they taught us.
You're right, but you got a point. You could think of the first characters.
For Black animation, for somebody who wanted to be in animation for the longest time, forever, ever, I think of like Static Shock and Proud Family and PJs and all these great cartoons, but I also think about how like it was decades upon decades of teaching generations to hate, people that look like us. Just an ugly, ugly history, and nobody wanted to take accountability for so long. And it's just like, I just think about an industry. I think about an industry and a medium that doesn't really have the best relationship with melanin, and they're just now trying to get it together, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm the serious one, y'all. Surprise, right?
That is the biggest lie that you could have possibly told.
No, the biggest lie I'm going to tell is that, I think that the best piece of black animation ever is
I hate this channel.
No. Hold on, let me take my shades off so you can see me eyeball.
Hood classic.
I was about to say the Goofy movie, but
Me too, Avia, because we're not going to slander things people like just to get a rise out of them. We were going to just praise things. You know what I'm
If I
saying?
want to rise out of somebody, I mean, we could talk about Heavy Traffic. We could talk about Frisk the Cat. We could talk about how we represented Dumbo.
Man,
Like, we could start there.
tomato. I'm throwing tomato.
As soon as you said Fritz the Cat.
The Crows.
As soon as you said Fritz the Cat, that's all I can say. Matter of fact, no. When you say Fritz the Cat, this is what I think of.
Brody, niggas wildin'.
That's what I think about when you say Fritz the Cat. Because
God, are we about to talk about Fritz the Cat now? Or are we holding it?
No, we're not talking about it at all. Actually,
Why
that's
not?
accurate.
I mean, but there were technically a black. Okay.
I just don't like how a lot of those in those animations, and even in because I don't know where we're about to start at, but even in one animation, I don't like how Black people, African Americans, was drawn or created, because it's like it's putting us in a past look. And I feel like people should have been able to create us to look better. Sorry. If Elmer Fudd can look like he looks and have a bald head and look like a white man that's actually walking on the streets, why should we have to look like that? Like, that's just crazy to me.
You raised a really good point, Mike, because when animation far as like America when animation first came up, look how they started drawing, like, just for advertisements. Like, they drew us as food for alligators. Like, they drew small Black children as food for alligators. Like the Pickaninny caricature, like Black people with big lips with blackface, with like ink black skin with big red lips with white around it, like, and you can tell Black people didn't draw those, because why would we draw ourselves like that? Like, we wouldn't do that to ourselves, because we know how we look. And it's been a staple in animation for a hot minute. And if it's animal related, we're either, like Aaron said a few minutes ago, crows and Dumbo, like how the crows represent. You can tell they were black coded just by the voices. You can tell they were black coded, and
with their jive talking that they were doing.
Yeah, man. Man.
Like, you could tell, like, you can tell they didn't care, like, or you can tell there were no Black people in the room making these decisions, because otherwise we would be like, no, absolutely not. No, we don't. Not all of us speak like that. Like,
right.
Look like what? And now it's kind of evolved into we play donkeys.
Ooh.
Donkeys or zebras.
Donkeys. Oh my God, donkeys and zebras. Oh my God.
Ooh, Avia. Ooh.
Just saying.
I mean, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. God,
I mean, zebra do come from Africa, but God dang.
Just say.
Sheesh. I ain't thinking about
it. It just morphed. Like, it just morphed. Or hip. You feel me? It just morphed. Like, that's
and
all.
It's a woman. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought. I hate.
But wait,
how people try to portray us in animation as if we have to be that. I feel like we can be more than what the stereotypical animal or casting is.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we've been dehumanized since we were brought over to America. So, like, I'm not surprised by that. Damn, I did not think of that. I really did not think of that. Jesus.
Right.
Oof.
And they're just now
So what y'all
starting to
think
see
of
that.
censored 11?
I thought we were talking about that next time.
Yeah. So, I mean, might as well just a quick table dressing for those who don't know. The censored 11 are 11 of what Warner Brothers deemed to be the most racist and offensive of the Looney Tunes library. Such hits include the original racist design of Speedy Gonzalez, one of the most offensive caricatures of Hispanic individuals. Several like just atrocious anti-black racist ass cartoons. I know if anybody fucking has seen goddamn All About the Benjamins starring Ice Cube and Mike Epps. In the very beginning of the movie, when Ice Cube is bounty hunting the racist guy, he's watching one of the Censored 11 episodes where Bugs Bunny is doing battle, if you will. I don't know how else to describe it, with a very racist caricature of a black man. So, yes, it's a lot.
And the fact that he beat him with a game of craps. Like,
when I watched it, I was like, because mind you, I had never seen it, and I was like, wait a minute. I think for me, it was actually watching it and then going and watch it, reading the comments of people talking about how, oh my God, I remember this, and this is what I grew up on. Oh my God, this is the best episode ever. And I'm just like, oh my God, it's because you're not represented like this, or you're a racist. Like, I don't it just didn't make sense to me, because it's like, you know damn good well that character should not be looking like that, or it should be even portrayed like that. That was I ain't gonna lie, that was hard to watch, because it was like, this is animation, this is Looney Tunes, this is something that I do enjoy, but I had never seen the Censored 11. But that one particular episode between the black character and Bugs Bunny, I was like, what the fuck?
Yes.
And
Warner. Oh, go ahead, Avia.
I just think it's interesting that like they try to scrub this kind of stuff, thinking that people won't know about it. Because of course they're not going to teach this. I don't know. They might surprise us. They might if they take an animation class or some kind of like history of film or history of animation, they might bring this up. I don't know if they do have course like they might bring this up. For the most part, they try to bury this. Like it's like because Sing a Song to the South, like that thing is locked in the Disney vault. Like they're not releasing that thing ever. But people have found VHSs and recorded it so that people will know. And like there's like even clips on on YouTube and everything, so people know that no, you're not getting away with this. Like we see what y'all did, and no, we're gonna hold y'all accountable for what you've done, because this is not okay. Like these stereotypical pictures and and just drawings and clips of black people like this. No, that's not how it's supposed to go. And it's just like it's just crazy that they think that they could scrub this and thinking that nobody knows about it, but like it's like an open secret, like everybody knows about it.
Yeah. I'll say this to add on to it. It's like, and like there are still some racist Looney Tunes episodes that slip through the cracks, as far as just like the representation. Like I know my uncle and aunt, they had a Looney Tunes DVD, and some of the episodes came with a disclaimer, some imagery was used that are not acceptable at the time. Like the two standouts for me is there's a Porky Pig black and white cartoon where he's running a farm and he's like milking a cow. He's treating every milk bottle like it's a baby, right? So it's like, oh, here's this first one is like swaddled in the blanket and whatnot. She's proud. And the gag isn't that it's just milk and she's treating it like babies, because it's like she's giving birth. But then she gets to a chocolate milk. She gets to a chocolate milk bottle, and she's just got like blushing and smiling, and they're treating it like, oh, so you done slept with a black man, and they're treating that like it's like, oh, it's so taboo, it's so racy. And then there's another anti-smoking cereal episode, and like several of the black, if you have any idea of the famous black people around the time, they are drawn in the minstrel big lips, black face, like that. They're not drawn like their contemporaries that are also being used. So even then, it's still some things that are, slipping through the cracks. And of course, a lot of these animating YouTube historians, they'll bring up, the World War II Looney Tunes and Disney shorts, that, show Nazism and the jingoism against the Japanese and things like that. But I mean, we know that. We know what comes with that because it's so publicized. But, a lot of them don't touch the censored 11 more than just, what the most the most passable way. And that is like just to coincide with what Mike and Evie said, like that's a rough fucking watch.
So I guess y'all were uncomfortable with the imagery, huh?
I mean, it was let's just say that it was one, and I mean that like very specifically, one of the most disturbing and like uncomfortable black animation things that involved early black animation I've ever seen.
Yeah, there was this one I remember seeing I didn't put on the list. It was like Coal Black and the Seven Dwarfs, and it's just like I said before, it just all of this basically can be summed up in what I said earlier. It's like this literally taught a generation to hate,
Mm-hmm.
like every, I mean, I didn't even include, if y'all remember with Tom and Jerry, like the Mammy Two Shoes character, like all that stuff. It's
yes.
Whew.
God almighty, do I remember that? Because I'm like, and I remember watching that on Cartoon Network, and I'm like, even young, I'm like, this is racist, right? This is not
As
cool.
hell.
Like it's like, yeah, this is not the wave.
But if the people who are in charge said it was okay,
right? If they it, then.
And you know what's funny though is that when you move past, a couple decades, out the 40s, and everybody wanted to try to be subversive, and they said, "Hey, we gonna stick it to the man," and we got a lovely little film out of that, huh?
Did we?
This movie,
1975. Huh.
Was it sticking it to the man, or was it just code for something else? So,
I mean, cool skin.
Let me first start off by saying that coonskin is not for the weak of heart or the ones who take race, or the ones that take race very leisurely.
Or
this isn't something, this isn't something that I would recommend anyone watch. In fact, I'm being quite honest with you. It's not. It's for lack of a better term, racist, homophobic, transphobic, every phobe. And it's God, we were recording this on Friday. I saw it Wednesday night. Oh, what was it? Wednesday night. No, it was Tuesday. It was Tuesday night. I saw it. And it was Wednesday. It was Wednesday. God, it's warped my sense of time and space because of how fucking shocking it was to watch. And it's, for lack of a better term, it is an animated blaxploitation film. And even then, I think that might be a little bit much to say because
I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, because, with your traditional blaxploitation, those are actual black people in the way black people actually look like. And, their creativities might be exaggerated, but the imagery is not offensive. It's black folk. If you watch Dolomite, Superfly, any of the any of the Jackie, like any of those movies, you're seeing beautiful black folks, you know, doing their most crazy 1970s ideas. There's no minstrel aspect to it. But Coonskin, on the other hand, they said, how can we draw black folks as offensive as possible? And golly, I mean,
when they said that was a fox, I'm like, that does not look like a fox at all. Like, y'all think that looks like a fox? No.
A rabbit.
And like the rabbit, like ink black,
the lips,
big black, big red lips. Like you can tell they're going off stereotypical look. And then Bear, he was. He kind of looked like a white. Barry,
I mean, Barry White. Because Barry White had stroke.
I can't believe that was Barry White. Like Barry White for real. Like,
yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, like, because the music, like, as soon as I heard that baritone talking, you're like, okay, that's Barry White.
Mm-hmm.
But like, damn, Barry, like, maybe he was sold something that he didn't. You know, it's the 70s, so it's not like you're watching in real time them animating it. So I'm pretty sure he saw, oh, I'm gonna do some live action things, and I'm gonna be talking, and you know, it's gonna be one thing, and then it's not the other. But no, this film. Okay, let me just get this out the way. It is not made by black folks or black folks with control. It's Ralph Baskins, and if you know anything about his filmography or the type of animator creator he is, you know that should tell you we've alluded to some of his projects in not just this but other episodes, Cool World, Fritz the Cat, etc. And I know that people will say, well, you know, he's a pioneer in animation, and you know, so was Christopher Columbus. He was a pioneer too, and you know how that goes. So,
well, I think he really thought that he was trying to be edgy. You know, he was trying to make a statement. Like, no, you didn't make any kind of statement. All you did was just reinforce stereotypes. Like, that's all you did. Like, you didn't do anything different. Like,
I just wish he had a friend. That to be like, you know, hey, you might want to table that. You know,
it don't remind you of nobody.
Yeah, it reminds me of two people.
I
like a few, but I that's neither here nor there. I just want to say that when I watched it and I knew that this was on the list, and I didn't watch no trailer or anything. I watched it full fresh eyes.
Same.
And I was like, you know, this is a lot. And I want to know, how did it get approved? And I think the first thing I did after when I finished watching it, I did call Avery and I was like, what the fuck you have me watch? And then I went to all of the reviews. So I went to critic reviews and I went to just regular people reviews that are actually just, it's crazy because that we watched this just now, because even the video, there are recent comments from like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 2 months ago of people who are now discovering this movie. And then there were comments of people saying, oh my God, I remember watching this as a kid. This is crazy. This had a bigger message and everything like that. But as Avia said, I think he just thought he was trying to be edgy with this type of things, but you wasn't doing nothing but just making things worse. And it sucks because it's like, I wish that Black people could have been in the room so that they can read the room. Because don't get me wrong, there are certain situations that happen in this movie that actually are panning out to current society, America versus Black people, America versus everything. So I feel like it was a little bit ahead of his time, but I feel like there was a lot of polishedness that needed to be done far as the bigger picture of the movie. Other than that, and that's all I'm gonna say right now, because we're not fully breaking this movie down.
I mean,
that's all I'm saying.
I'm not surprised. To be honest, I'm not surprised by by how the characters were.
Mhm.
I'm not. And
So it don't remind you of no other white director?
I mean,
yeah.
you can say it because I'm gonna be very honest with you. My
Quentin
pension of
Tarantino?
Mhm.
I mean, I mean, if we want to dive into it, let's dive into it because I genuinely well no, Avia, finish your thought, and then I'm gonna go on ahead and say something that's like been on my mind for the last 3 days.
I would have loved to have seen an actual black animator's response to this film, like around the same time.
Period.
Kinda like, that's what I would have loved to see. Like, okay,
Definitely.
if if a black animator did make this type of plot, right? How would he have interpreted it? Like, what would
Right.
his characters look like, and what would the script? What would they sound like? Like, just
Mhm.
I was just curious watching it. That was going through my mind. I'm like, so
Yeah.
but were there, like, in my mind, I was watching it and I was asking myself, were there any black animated films that kind of counterbalance this? That kind of went against this? That showed this is not what black animation is? And I was
Right.
like, that's what I was asking myself when I was watching it.
Yeah, I like I'm so under the impression that this film wouldn't have made a difference if there were black people in the room or not, because it's not like they would have been given the fuck. I hit a button. It's not like they have been like they would have been heard or given the space to be heard. You know what I'm saying? Because there were black animators, because as Aaron has told us, there were black animators that were involved with trying to get an idea like this done. They were turned down, so they went to Ralph, who was already an esteemed animator. He worked on the 60s Spider-Man cartoon, is the reason why all of the supervillains left in the second season, that punk ass bitch. And he basically said, yeah, sure, I'll take the helm of the project, and got what it got. I just, to go back to your point, Aaron, about Tarantino, that I mean, this is exactly it. When you co-opt something that has a distinct style and vision, and then you go, oh well, I'm going to add my stamp on it, and people praise you for it because they think that it's subversive and all of these things, and still paying homage to what came before it, but also being shocking and having something to say. Which, let me just be frankly honest, this shitty movie had nothing really to say. I mean, like, just the
Like I
TLDR.
like I said, like he was not being edgy. Like he thought he was being edgy, but he was doing nothing. Like, it's the same stuff that we've seen before. Like, absolutely nothing.
Yes, like 100% nothing. I mean, it's like it bounces like from killing the false prophet black preacher preaching revolution and being black Jesus, and then they kill him and they make a joke out of it, and then kill the corrupt cop in shocking way, and then kill the mafia boss and everything. And it's like, this isn't necessarily, this doesn't seem like a commentary on destabilizing these things, because specifically the third one is like basically bullshit in terms of the reasoning for it. But it's like, this seems more of a vehicle of you getting your opinion out about these topics, and not necessarily how black folks interpret it. It sounds like y'all know the fucking uncles and aunties y'all have. Let's talk turkey to our black audience specifically. Y'all know the uncles and aunties y'all have that basically sound like a bad Chris Rock sketch about their misgivings and their prejudice that they have against certain groups, whether it be gay folks, whether it be other nationalities, whether it be our own people. And that's what it sounded like sat in the writer's room for this film. A bunch of folks who like, yeah, fuck the Italians, yeah, fuck other black folks who do all of this shit, they ain't about nothing. Like, it seems like that is where it came from, and it just, in my opinion, bolstered his, because as Aaron has told me, this wasn't an isolated incident as far as black folks are portrayed in Mr. Baskin's films. This is something that is popped up in other projects he has led. So, it's, well, like I say, it's trying to get you into a hoopty. You know, the outside of the car might look nice, but once you get inside the car and you start it up, it's a hoopty. Don't worry. You know, you try to turn the corner, your axle fall off.
It's a limit.
Exactly. Exactly. It makes black folks or any folks think that it's going to be this subversive tale about this, that, or the third, but then it's just nah. You just sat back and essentially wasted an hour and 22 minutes and 31 seconds of your life because you sat back and you subjected yourself to to just the worst types of racism, homophobia, you know, just garbage. Like you've subjected yourself to it for nothing, for absolutely nothing. And the worst thing about it is it's still seared in my brain. And I'm like, I don't like that at all because it's like there's nothing to glean from it. It's just a reminder of just what happens when you allow other people to tell your story and they don't give a fuck.
Mhm.
But that's just my
That's the moral of the story right there.
Yeah.
No, that's it right
I
there.
mean, that's facts. Because I mean, like we was talking about the other night, and I said, it's certain ways that stuff was portrayed, and that's just not cool how it was portrayed.
And it goes back to that question: if even though the characters are black, it wasn't created by a black person, is it still really considered black animation?
You know,
and that's the debate question. I'm gonna be honest with you. Even though there are black characters in it, I don't consider it black animation because a black person would not approve this at all.
Yeah, facts. And the black folks who may, they are clearly outliers. They are not individuals who have black representation at heart or a proper black representation at heart. They're people who are just yes men or people who will use anything to get their own foot in the door. They're not people you would trust to properly care for to care for black.
Well, you know, when you're given scraps for so long, you know, you'll take whatever you get. And I think that's everything up from what we've been talking about to Coonskin. You know, you're going to see a big difference after Coonskin when we talk about, but it's like the reason why I chose this movie is one, because of just how strange it is, how ingrained in your brain it can get, and how subversive, you know, because I feel like I was lied to when I was originally told about this movie a long time ago, because the way it was described, it's honestly a travesty, because it's like when you hear that, you know, the whole point of this movie is that it's supposed to be a subversion of the Brer Rabbit story, you know, of Song of the South, you know, one of Disney's most racist movies. But it's like you countered racism with more racism, you know, because this isn't for us or by us. Like, this has us in it, but, you know, and that's why I have to say I got to put this in the same category as Django. You know, I like Django, but it's like, you know, this is a white dude writing the N-word like 2 billion times, you know, and this is a white man getting black people to draw pickaninnies, you know, and jigaboos like every 2 seconds, you know, in cell animation. And it's like, when you think of it like that, when I have to, you know, that's how I have to think about it. And I'm just like, that reminds me of Hattie McDaniels getting her speech written for, saying she's a credit to her race. You know, it's just like, we're given scraps and we have to make do with what we got. And it's still just this ugly ass, you know.
This is why I wish like for like the big people coming up during blaxploitation, like in the late 60s, like mid 70s, if they would have heard like whispers of this movie, if they would have like put their heads together and bought it and changed the title, because there's no way a black person would have.
They did though. They did. They called it. They end up calling it Street Fight. And what's interesting about Coonskin and Street Fight is that Al Sharpton got wind of this and said, "Not no, but hell no," and he went on a whole mission to shut this film down. But then the NAACP said, "This is okay. You know, it's got black representation and it doesn't. It's not as offensive as you know think it would be." And it's like, apparently that argument is still, is still there, and it's just like, this is when it comes to black media, like we need to start gatekeeping. I'm gonna just be honest, we need to start gatekeeping, because
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I'll say this, just the disconnect between the NAACP and Al, that again speaks to why some folks adopt the black folks are not a monolith ideal, because you would think in situations like this that, obviously this shit is not for the culture and not cool, as the cats of today would say. And they still went, yeah, might as well, put it out. This has, and it's like, no, this doesn't have any value. But to circle back to what you said earlier, Aaron, when you are used to getting scraps, you'll take anything. You'll accept anything that is given to you, and therefore you would say, oh well, they say black animators are a part of it, so clearly this is good, right? They had a hand in making this. This isn't, Song of the South, or this isn't, animated version of Birth of a Nation. This has black hands in it. So obviously there might have been some care, and it's like, oh. Then again, if people didn't take studio movie bullshit at face value, then we wouldn't be having a lot of problems in film in general. But that's a topic for a different day.
Okay.
So yeah, coonskin for me, I'm just gonna say it like this. I woke up the next morning and threw up. So I'm thinking because of that film. And I've been queasy, and I'm not joking. I'm like, this isn't me being funny, jokey, hyperbole cute. This is serious as fuck cute. If I'm sounding a little raspy, it's because of that, me doing that, and that did not leave a good spot in my stomach because of just how bad it was. Shout outs to Jellystone and Greg of the Greek, because I've watched that to kind of detox my mind. And I'm like reaching out to them in my mind, talking about this topic. Like, no, let me hold on. Let me grasp to these positive memories, so I'm not sliding back.
The film person in me, like the filmmaker, film watcher in me, has seen worse. I've seen
that's true,
much worse. So I'm like, I pretty much made your eye roll through it all. Like, yeah, seen this before. Like, nothing.
Must be nice. Must be nice, Aaron and Avia, with y'all.
And me, I'm over it. I mean, I said what I said, and it's, it is what it is, and move on.
I think it makes it worse because it's animated.
Yeah,
honestly, because you can, like I said last episode, like you can have more expressions, and the gore can be like at its goriest when you're animating something. And it's a gory film. Like,
yes.
I mean, the ceiling fan cut somebody's head off.
Man.
There's folks being incinerated, burnt alive, folks getting shot down, hung very explicitly.
It's a mess. But it isn't a mess. We jumped from the 80s because there wasn't any black animation in the 80s really that I can think of. But the 90s, we had a boom. The beautiful black boom.
Starting off with the 1995 Black Extravaganza from the Disney home.
Oh, we're not gonna talk about Bebe's Kids? So we're not gonna talk about Bebe's Kids?
Should we?
Yeah, Bebe's Kids came in 92. 92.
Was that 92?
92 or 93?
My birthday.
Yeah, let's go ahead and
Baby Kids. Let's rev it up a little bit. Let's make it a little bit better, because there is some good black animation that's not portray us in this bad, light and everything like that. I do actually like how the characters are drawn in Bebe's Kids. Just saying, we don't. I mean, it's like I can actually see that family. I'm sorry. I can see the comedian that is the main character. He looks just like him in real life. Yes.
Because I thought
If
Face
it
on
wasn't for
Love,
Baby, we
Face on
wouldn't have
Love
Bernie Mac.
voiced them. Yeah, that's right.
Bernie Mac could have did the remake.
Yeah, because Face on Love voiced Robin Harris, but Robin Harris did his
Right.
stand up at the beginning.
Yeah, he died right before they did the movie.
Yeah, Bebe's Kids is the only animated movie I know to have aired on Disney Channel, Cartoon Network, and BET.
Mm-hmm. Classic. Now that's a hood classic for real. No,
Like,
and it
it
had
is.
the iconic Yo Mama jokes. Like
Classic. And the reference, like whenever you have 3 bad children, my mom will refer to us as Bebe's Kids.
Yeah,
Like
period.
when you have 3 children, like that are bad, like you refer to them as Bebe's Kids. Like no matter where you, like them some
My
Bebe's
mama's my 2 siblings got kids of their own, and we all in our 20s and 30s, and my mama still call us a Bebe's Kids. I don't know why.
No, they don't. They don't die. They multiply.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't die, we multiply. Like, and me and my brothers were like, baby, because Reggie was oldest. I'm the middle girl, and then Freddie's the little baby. So we were literally Bebe's Kids.
Robin could not get a break
at all. But that's what happens when you decide to care for young black children and out in here in this world, as we all should.
No, it's the way that cop when they went to Vegas and they go, oh no, it's Bebe's Kids.
They already got a rap sheet, which young black children being stigmatized as criminals at a young age is not okay.
It's not
at all. But you know what came out?
They're seeing 3
It
years.
should have got a sequel.
It should have, but do you know what was a spiritual successor to Bebe's Kids' success?
Here we go.
Get it?
C Bear and Jamal. Yes, sir. The Fox Kids OG, starring MC Loke as C Bear. Fun fact: MC Loke is one of the low key icons of voice acting. He's done a lot of voice acting in his career, as well as regular acting. Shout outs to MC Loke.
Like iconic. Oh, that was like one of the first cartoons I remember watching that had somebody that looked like me.
Facts.
God.
Period.
Oh, yeah. That was my show. That and my brother and me.
Oh yeah, you could
my
tell Tom
Lord.
because he had that deep voice. Like you could just tell when he voices something because it's how like his baritone, like Barry White type voice. Like you can tell it's him.
Ooh, Barry White and the Bear. You know that ain't gonna go well. It's a coonskin joke. It's a coonskin joke.
Yep.
These shout outs to these black children.
We are not going to talk about that Waynesboro cartoon.
Tone Loke. It's Tone. We've been saying MC Loke. It's Tone Loke. But y'all knew who we was talking about.
Yeah, I said Tone Loke.
Yeah, we're gonna ignore. I mean, look. There's a cartoon that I just saw. We're gonna ignore one because there's a little black boy that was based off of.
We're not talking about him.
And it was cool, but we're gonna keep on pushing. Wayne Head though. Wayne Head.
Party's just begun. When as the Waynes began their domination.
And the fact that oh man, what's his name? Which Wayans was it?
It's Keenan, right?
No.
Keenan and the eldest ones, right?
No, Damon. So Damon made this for Junior for Damon Wayans Jr. because Damon Wayans Jr. was getting made fun of because he had a club foot and stuff. The fact that he made a whole that's a huge flex.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a huge flex. You know, that's that black positivity we love to see.
Message.
I'm adding that in there. Like the Wayans had the 90s in a chokehold.
Oh yeah,
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
I feel like they were. I feel like I wish they could have had an opportunity to do more animation just because of what they had already with movies. Probably even know if they did anything like that, just if they went to theater with them going to theater school or anything like that. But I really wish they had the opportunity to be set up with some animators and they could have did more after, because the was there. It's just that they didn't get the opportunity to continue with animation. I feel like they would have gave us the culture more with animation.
Mm-hmm.
Because they did pop in happily ever after, but you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ooh, let's talk about that. Ooh, that show there was a masterpiece. Like I remember watching it when I was a kid. I loved it. Like it was just so good because they made these fairy tales specifically for us. Like the kids and the adults in there look like us. So it was like this is what we need.
Right.
It was beautifully done. Like, and there's so many famous people voicing these characters, and it's just like the voiceover cast.
I mean, famous black actors and actors that we all have seen for years, and for them to be in this animated world and be able to let us see ourselves in another light in animation.
Mm-hmm. Literally, the first episode had Denzel Washington as a king. Like, oh my gosh.
You know, some folks say I look like a young Denzel in the right light, in the right position.
Ooh.
So anyway, so that Pinocchio episode.
Whoa, what the heezy is going on?
Y'all that Pinocchio episode
y'all
had Will Smith. Had Will Smith as Pinocchio, and guess who played the cricket? No, we ain't going there. But it's funny.
Who played the cricket?
About, you know?
You know who played the cricket?
You know who played the cricket?
We all know what type of individual played the cricket. We all know what type of individual played the cricket.
It was that
all
dude,
I will say.
You know?
All I will say is that the letter C applies to several words, and with regards to this person, cricket, a first name, another name for an animal, just the works of that. So, let me stop. So, Hammerman.
Oh my God, Hammerman. That was an interesting show. Magic Shoes.
That turned you into MC Hammer. Facts. Hey, we all need some original black heroes. And speaking of original black heroes in animation,
late 90s. Oh yeah, let's talk about it.
Late 90s going into the early to mid 2000s, wow, if you will. The superhero known as Static Shock. See, we found a way to fit in some superhero content involving a company that shares the initials with our nation's capital. We found a way to do that. Fortunately. But Static Shock, an adaptation of the milestone comic from the late great Dwayne McDuffie, where DC was like, yeah, we got some cool black characters. Let's implement them into our iconic DC animated universe. Phil Lamar as Virgil Hawkins. His father, who was absolutely just Martin Luther King in design, but that was
not like dead ass,
like not like unambiguously Martin Luther King.
It was.
Reggie, his white best friend, white sidekick, which for those who know their lore of Dwayne McDuffie, one of the things he was very much let's say passionate about was the inverting the trope of white superhero and black best friend. So Reggie was an answer to that, even though he existed in the comics, but very, very much differently. And basically, Virgil's a good kid. His mother is killed in gang violence. He has a brief stint with being a gang member, but he's at an event which is called the Big Bang, which creates bang babies, which gives these young kids superpowers. He can control electricity, and he decides to be superhero Static. And he met Little Romeo. He met Shaquille O'Neal. Met African superheroes. He met some people call it the Justice League or something like that.
And he fight the Joker.
Yeah, beat his ass actually.
Yeah,
flip the script on him. But yeah, Static is if you do not have an encyclopedia knowledge about superheroes, if you just barely have an understanding and you're a black person, you know who Static is. Matter of fact, you probably call him Static Shock because you think that's his name when it's not. It's the name of the show, but that's just how like ingrained in people's minds he is. It's like whenever there's a DC product and it's like teen superheroes, where's Static? Where's Virgil? If we're talking about teen superheroes, where is he? He's here. You know, because us black folks, we love to point out when something is supposed to be there, but it's not. It's like that's a special trait of ours. So we're like, where's Static? We need Static. Give us Static. You know. So that
the last time I saw him in something, was it Young Justice season 3? I think that was as far as like anything in remotely DC, as far as like
current. I think he has been in it current, but not like right now.
Okay, but I thought it was 2 or 3. I can't remember.
I think it was.
Yeah. I know there's a fantastic comic run that is out now with Static and is going into its second season. They call it season 2, which please support it because we need more Static. And it's been a minute since he's had his own comic. So
shoot, they need to give him another cartoon. Like honestly, I
would love to see it.
I'm not going to make the comparison to that other, amazing black animated movie with the character, but it's like, how do you not? There's room for everyone. There's literally room for everyone. And in the original show, like I was obsessed with Static Shock. I was obsessed with that show, Kids WB, every damn day. Like I was obsessed, and it was just so refreshing because it wasn't any stereotypes. Like Static wasn't. He wasn't like.
He was a good.
He was just a good guy. He wasn't like a 90s stereotype. He was modern and like the episode where Richie's dad was freaking racist as hell. Like y'all remember that? I know y'all remember that.
Man, like, do I like?
That's one of the only cartoons that like really talked about racism like that too.
Right. Because I mean, you had the platform to do it. I mean, you have this. More like that. You have this character that is black, and that's in this modern state. With how racism is, you have to touch on that stuff because you know your target audience and you know who all was watching it.
Now I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Is this why they didn't give Miles a cartoon series? Is that why? Because they don't want to acknowledge the elephant in the room. Is that why?
You can put it on the screen.
Because you're gonna have to talk about the colorism in the Latinx community. Like that's something you are going to have to point out when it comes to mine. You're going to have to point that out, and they don't. And they probably don't want anything to do with that. They probably don't want it.
It's bad enough the movies have made Peter a sidekick. The last thing these folks want to do is guarantee that he's viewed as that by having Miles take the forefront in any capacity. That's like. They know that a Miles animated series would literally just change the game and put Marvel ahead in virtually all avenues. I will be the first, last, and if need be, only person to tell you that Peter animated series, when done well, is some of the best stuff, and that goes quadruple, if not infinity, for what a Miles animated series that has the level of love and care something like Static Shock had if they gave that to a Miles story, of course that would just be iconic instantly. But hey, I'll take winning. Well, I don't know how meaningful the Academy Awards are, but I will take being the best animated movie ever and taking folks joy, with my greatness.
I'm just like, why don't we have? Man, no, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I know somebody's gonna steal this, but where are the black animators who looked at Into the Spider-Verse and said, "No, you know what? We need to do this with milestone characters." Where is that?
Like, I really want them to bring milestone characters to life.
You feel me?
Like
I know
Max stop playing.
Like, God, dog.
I mean, like
HBO Max and stop playing.
Like it can be milestone. It could be like they've done like recently and have them in a DC universe. I think not both ideas would be spectacular, but give them that. I mean, if you really
I know Rocket's gonna pop up in Young Justice, but like, damn, give her own show. Shoot.
Like if
now,
y'all really
now, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say if they not giving a black man a live action show right now, they definitely not gonna give a black woman a live action.
We could dream. We could dream.
I would love it. Y'all know I would love it. I would if there was a black. I need black female animators to find live action directors too and kind of like work together to get this going. But yeah, it's if they haven't done that for a black character, they not gonna do it for a black female character right now. Like they're not.
They should.
I would love them to do that. Like that would be incredible if they did, but they not.
All I will say. Oh, go ahead, Avian.
Not unless a lot of people make a lot of noise. Not unless a lot of people make a lot of noise. Otherwise,
we don't make enough noise. That's the problem.
I'll say this. If Warner Brothers Discovery is now a new thing, so that means that if y'all want to if there is a lot of things a lot of folks are going to make noise about that they want, but if y'all which y'all should want Milestone to come back and not just comic book form but multimedia, make the noise. Restore the Mileverse. No, that sounds too Miles Morales-y. Restore the Milestone. Restore the Milestone. Get the hat. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna tweet that today as soon as this is over. Restore the Milestone. Warner Brothers Discovery. Give us these awesome black stories by black creators about black superheroes. And for God's sake, do not make Icon a Republican in 2022. We do not need a story about Black Superman as a Republican. That does not need to happen. It should not have happened. Dwayne McDuffie expressed regret that he had that happen because folks were co-opting it, not understanding what it was supposed to say. And it has stayed stagnant because both Milestone has not consistently been out, plus other folks thinking they understood the original message and therefore continuing it when it should have changed, which leads to characters like Blue Marvel who also adopt a conservative mindset and bullshit reasons why they could not be Black Superman all the time. And we need to kill that stigma because at the end of the day, it is fiction and you are responsible for creating the ideals we should strive for and not just remind us of the reality we cannot escape from.
Breathe.
That's Gen X. So anyway, I had to get my Gen X dig. We got to do better. Like dead ass. Like that's some points. That's points and facts. Like we've got to move past trying to subvert. We got to move past the subversion of what us as superheroes and different types of heroes would look like. Sure, there are other Black Republicans, but like if you don't handle it like they did in A Different World, I don't want it. So I know how nobody's going to handle it like that because most of the people in the industry don't look like us. So
fuck it, we'll handle it like that. Give MD the Milestone and we'll run with it. We'll give you what you want.
Oh, we go get if we doing Milestone, I promise you Icon and Rocket are about to go on an adventure with Nubia. I promise you.
Woo!
I promise you.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm here for that.
I promise you, Static will be leading the team. Static would be leading the Teen Titans, not taking
Okay,
shit from nobody.
Like,
I'm with that. I'm ready for my girl
someday soon.
Nubia. Just go ahead and just be in something. Like, as far as like, the either animated show, movie, like live action, just something. Just something.
I'm really hoping with the success that Nubia and the Amazons and what Trial of the Amazons have done. I'm really hoping that she will get her own animated series or own animated movie, because I feel like it is time, and with the success of both of those comics, the people want it.
And also, they did my girl Yara wrong. Like they like stopped her run. Like, why would you?
Right.
You know what? You know exactly.
Well, because as
you want to be so inclusive, but when it really comes down to it, you don't know how to include and actually tell a story.
Yeah, because they never had an understanding and a plan. But then again, Davis Laugh just pointed that out too. So maybe things will change. That there was never a cohesive idea about any of this stuff, and people should stop agreeing to things just because they sound avant-garde and there was no real meat and potatoes to it.
When Aaron Johnson said that, y'all didn't want to hear it.
Well, I said it, so that means there's double not going to be heard. So at least yours got heard on one tier. Mine's is going to really not be heard. But yeah,
well, you know what did get heard though?
Go ahead. Your segue.
No, you know what did get heard though in the early 2000s when we saw that we were going to get a shock to our system on the other side of the big three. You know, we had Destiny's Child and Solange hit us with that.
Oh, Proud Family. What?
Song.
You with me on the beach side, family every single day night. You know, man, I remember when they were trying to promote the Proud Family and they played that song before the show even came out.
Music video.
Yes, I'm like, that's how you do it. Like that's how you promote a Black TV show with the music first. Like that's exactly what you do. And it's
Mike getting ready for the Beyonce concert because they playing that there. You getting ready for it?
Oh, they did that. Oh my god.
Mike gonna be front row at that Beyonce concert when that guitar come in.
Me and him both.
Oh, look, I already said, no shade, I'm coming to Texas with you. We gotta go.
Look, when she comes to Dallas anywhere near, like a 4-hour radius near me, I'm going. Like,
on May 6th, Mike gonna get the notifications. Oh, are you coming to the theaters to see Multiverse of Madness? Mike in the crowd at the Beyonce concert, staring up, listening to the Proud Family theme song.
I'm telling you now, Q, stop saying it like that because we're not gonna
y'all.
So soon. Like,
could y'all imagine everybody's face? Could y'all imagine everybody's face if Beyonce's on stage, then Kelly, and then Michelle come out? Y'all think they finna do like one of the
songs and they do new music?
And then all of a sudden they just do Proud Family.
They're gonna be like something. We want to thank you all so much for not seeing your favorite movies tonight and for coming to see us in concert. We will be performing your greatest hits out there.
I'm gonna let him have it. I'm gonna let him have the running joke.
Look, I let y'all have y'all running joke.
Is it time to clock out?
See, y'all want to clock out, but when y'all be roasting, or I'm not even roasting, I'm just having light fun with it. When y'all be roasting things I love,
I be clocked. Anything you love,
I be clocked in.
Everything. What are you talking about? We respect everything.
So if I go to my room and show another piece of
black corny, man, boo, tomato, I'm throwing tomato.
See, Mike just answered my question before I even finished asking it. You just answered my question before I finished asking it.
I don't even know.
But I'm gonna still keep it. But I'm gonna still keep it above water. Go ahead, Avia. Bless us with this Proud Family jump off.
Okay, so I see what you did. I'm the black girl, so I'm talking about the black girl part. That's
Black girls rock.
You know, I am. Matter of fact, I am gonna clock out because I'm getting y'all are these versions On me? Y'all are casting these aspersions on me? I had nothing. Like, what is this? What is going on?
I guess you could ask. Yeah.
Look, you make Q fall out of his chair.
I was not ready for that. I was not ready.
You make Q fall out of his chair.
Oh, what happened? Can we take it from the top? Can we take it from the top? Hold on.
Oh, I killed this man.
What's going on?
Can we take it from the top?
I just made a reference, y'all.
What is going on? No, that could absolutely not be an episode. We cannot have an episode. Oh man. So just cut out my Beyonce jokes and we'll just go from let's cut it all out. We gotta scrub it all. Cut it all. Cut it all out. It all has to be scrubbed now. Blooper reel city.
We'll do it for the Christmas party.
Okay.
But yes. So Aaron, yes.
So the Proud Family, I've never seen an animated show with a black girl who was center, like who was like the main character before. Like I was like 10, like 9 or 10 when the Proud Family first came on Disney Channel, and I've never seen that before. You know, I've seen black women I played black girls, black women animation, but nothing like this. Because Penny Proud was me, like just a girl just going day to day with her friends. You know, her overprotective dad, her mom, her loving mom. You know, her siblings, her grandmother, like just her day-to-day life was very entertaining, and it was just something about it is like, yeah, and that's how it became one of Disney's like classics. Like if you say Disney Channel animation, one of the first ones that come out is Proud Family. That's one of the first ones that you think of, and it was just a breath of fresh air to me. Like it was just something new, something fun. Now the only thing is, there's two things. Like I said it before, we were talking about the big three, and they kind of fixed it in Louder and Prouder. But not really. Just how the Gross Sisters looked. Like y'all didn't have to make them blue. Y'all didn't have to make them blue. And y'all didn't have to have Dejanay having her stomach hanging out. Like y'all didn't have to do that. Y'all didn't have to do that.
No, you were gonna say it. I knew you were gonna say it. It was gonna be you and me.
I'm tripping off of Avia going, they fixed it, but not really.
Right.
But like at least in Louder and Prouder, Dejanay's stomach is covered up. Dejanay's stomach is covered up in Louder and Prouder. But it's just like,
you know.
But she's still kind of problem. She's not necessarily problematic, but it's like they still kind of like like she's the snitch. Dejanay's the snitch. She's the informant. Like she's like, I have 9 brothers and sisters.
Right.
Ooh, Lord.
And the girls still look the same. They still look the same.
Yeah.
But it is
2 steps forward and a step back.
Right, you can't win them all. You can't win them all.
I still don't like the fact that Dejanay was the. No, I ain't gonna start. Never mind. Nah, yeah, I don't like how Dejanay was the one they made the most unlikable. Compared to Penny Proud, who was just like the wild child, but she still, learned her lesson. Dejanay never learned her lesson. That's colorism, y'all. That's what we call colorism.
Yes. But
fix it.
In this one, in Louder and Prouder, even though La Cienega had her problem, they definitely made La Cienega the most unlikable one in Louder and Prouder.
Yeah, because they realized that they realized the mess, and all the abuse that Oscar went through. They love to see a black man beat. It was made by the same people who did Bebe's Kids, though. It was the same people, so it's okay.
See, I was gonna go on a tangent when you said that, but I'm gonna leave it alone.
It's okay.
Mike, I know you love some Proud Family too.
it was very fresh, like for real, because and you know how I felt about Disney Channel. So it's like
here you go.
Here you
this
go.
is a show that I can actually watch and felt like, oh, this is real. This is something that I can relate to, or I've seen girls like this in high school, or whatever. But no, that was Proud Family was top tier.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Period.
Yes, sir. Shout outs to
Thank
Phil
you, sir.
Moore.
great.
Oh
Even
man.
Even though we can't really talk about Phil Moore no more.
Yeah. But that was a classic detective show.
Is
But
that
you
on
know
the
that other?
Is that on the Plus
Disney
or
Plus.
the? Yeah.
I want to say it is, but you know how that Plus.
I think
be.
it should be. If not, it'll probably be on there
You-
soon.
You know, it should be on the Max though.
What?
The Max?
Classic 3000.
Oh my God! One of my favorite, y'all. So y'all should know this. Y'all should know this by now about me. But if there's one thing I love most in this world, it's absurdist comedy and involving my folks, my peoples. The most creative, off the wall stuff to put us in the mind of the things we grew up watching. And Class of 3000 is absolutely one of those, especially because I was living in Georgia at the time, so a lot of that stuff was resonating a little bit harder than normally. But Andre 3000's cartoon, Son of Bridges,
Man.
Liddy, the whole squad. They were very tropey. Kim and Cam. I call my sister-in-law that because of those characters. I call her, what's up, Kim Cam? But that was it was a nice, fun show. Had musical interludes every episode, all on Spotify, all fire. Jesus Christ. So what's so funny is that I remember when it premiered, and since Cartoon Network is in Atlanta, it's a Turner broadcast affiliates owned by them. So it's based in Atlanta. So I remember when it premiered, it was when Cartoon Network still had their Friday nights block with you watch cartoons on a Friday night. Them mofos had Chris Brown just performing for the premiere episode. And I'm like, so we're getting black now. This is like black, and like this is real black right now we got going on.
I wish I would continue it.
Man, do y'all want to know the messed up thing about Class of 3000? So apparently the scuttlebutt is folks it's undecided that why it was canceled, but the prevailing theory is because it was Big Boy's idea to do a cartoon based off of him as a musician teaching kids. But they're saying Andre 3000 stole it from him, and that involved legalities with Cartoon Network. And the settlement was we're not going to show any more episodes and or not really, continue it. AKA write it off tax return. I don't know if that's true or not, but
and then another animator came out and said it was based off of something he wanted. I'm just like, everybody and their mom apparently had an idea about a musician who became a teacher, even though you can just say that it was just a Steve Harvey show. But okay.
The Steve Harvey show. Oh man.
Oh wow, like, bro.
He's finna come out in one of his pseudo Dragon Ball Z outfits, like some they stole it from me.
But yo, he looked fly. I'm not even gonna make. He looked fly though. Some of these outfits that he got on, I'm like, okay, I see you.
Y'all know I listen to the Steve Harvey morning show every morning now.
Who could it be but Steve Harvey?
It'd be funny because when you cut the car, I get in the car, he be preaching. Oh my God. I'd be like, where is the strawberry letter?
God,
where is the strawberry? Tell me about the woman sleeping with her son's best friend. No. I don't want to hear. I need you to be motivational on Mondays, Sundays, and Fridays. That's it.
He said,
No,
I'm
Monday, Wednesdays, and Sundays. Oh, I cut it on one time on Sunday. He was preaching hard. Oh my God. Yes, Jesus. Thank you. Thank you.
Mike, but if you hear that Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday,
I want to hear the strawberry letter. I want to hear strawberry letter, and I want to hear Uncle Tommy prank.
Hey, Tommy. You know,
this is nephew Tommy from the Steve Harvey. You just got pranked.
You know I was with your girl last night. What you mean with my girl? You know that was me, right? So I'm gonna need that $20. I left on your trip. What you mean that 20? Let me go holler at her. She know what the $20 is. Nah, I ain't no hollering at her. What the hell you talking about? Nah, bro. See, I'm gonna have to come up there and get the $20 myself. No, come on up here then. Come on up here then. You know what I gotta say though? This has been Nephew Tommy. You've been on the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Oh, Nephew Tommy.
I need him to come on the show. I ain't even about to say. Yeah. I need the whole cast. I need Nephew Tommy, Shirley. I need Steve. I need the three of y'all. I need to talk to y'all. I need to talk.
I'm gonna be like, hey Steve, why are you bald?
No. Alex can do a really good impression of Steve Harvey.
Oh God.
Oh, so see, we just locked him in. We just locked in Steve Harvey.
Has Steve Harvey been in any? Oh, Steve Harvey was in that one episode of Proud Family as the card.
Yep, the credit card show. So was goddamn. Why was I about to say Al Sharpton and then Al Yankee? No, Al Roker as the weatherman. It's Al Roker as the weatherman. And then Mariah Carey.
Yeah,
Mariah Carey was in that guy as well. And then Vanessa Williams. Arsenio Hall was the main bad guy of the Proud Family movie.
And he played Bobby in the movie too.
Cedric played Bobby.
Not in the movie.
I thought Cedric. Oh, he didn't do it in the movie. He did in the show. That's right. Cedric did in the show. And he did in Louder and Proud.
I don't know why he didn't do it in the movie.
I need something to wash it down. And the babies were named after BB and CeCe Winans because, of course.
Yep.
But speaking of more,
and that's a show for us by us.
Exactly. FUBU shout outs. But speaking of, shout outs to Wizard Kelly as well. Speaking of Black family centric cartoons, let's take it more recently into the future, to the now. And let's talk about Craig of the Creek, a show I watched before we started this. And boy, did I get zapped back to my childhood of imaginations and wonder. That's the show. That's the show. As a matter of fact, once we get done, I'm gonna watch some more of it because that is like, man, if y'all need to watch, it's on the Max, HBO Max. Watch it. It's for if you're Black, it's for you. You know what I'm saying? Well, young, old, middle-aged, folks pushing 40 like us. Yes, it's absolutely there. You got your Missy Elliott references, you got your video game references, your anime references, the whole nine. It's about a young Black kid named Craig who goes to this creek every day, and he goes on adventures with his two best friends, Kelsey and JP, and it's all of the wonder and excitement you would expect from a hopeful young Black man growing up in this world. He got his older brother Bernard, who's getting up there in the age, is going from young teen to middle-aged teen. He got his baby sister with her wonder in her eyes. She got her own spinoff coming up. His mama and daddy, who are just constantly giving the pearls of wisdom and are often the things he goes back to as far as persevering, giving him the knowledge that I remember my mom and dad giving me when I was a young kid about believing in yourself, believing in family, family has each other's back, etc., etc. And yeah, that's a show. A show's show. Have y'all watched it or seen it?
I've seen a few episodes with my cousins. I was watching them. They had it on like whenever, right before they went to school, like when they got back from school, it was on, and I enjoyed it. The episodes I watched, I liked it.
Yeah, I've seen a couple clips. I haven't watched it like in order, but I've seen like random episodes. But I do need to kind of actually fully watch it. One thing I would like to say, I love the fandom and the culture from it, because I see a lot of people talking about this on Twitter. A lot of people respect this show. A lot of people feel that this show has really made a name for itself and having the representation that it has. And I see that a new season actually was just put out on HBO Max today, actually. So I think it's amazing that it is still getting new seasons. I hope it continues to grow, because like I said, I don't want to get caught up and then you cancel it.
Right.
Thanks. Support your animators.
Shoot, need to pay your animators, right?
Facts.
Right.
Okay.
You know what? Aaron and Avian, y'all say y'all piece, because I got a tangent I want to go on before we close it out. Because
wait, before you go on tangent,
yes,
here's a much better segue as to why you need to go on your tangent. I will just say, I don't know if you have anything to say about it, Avia, but Craig of the Creek, it's a great show. It's just, I think every Black youth needs to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
So
you basically said it,
the going off of what Mike said though about his fear of watching such a great show and then getting canceled because of the way animators and the storytellers and directors are treated. You have the perfect example of that in Boondocks, because you had 3 seasons of relevancy, comedy, and just like all around masterful storytelling. And then, let's just call it for what it is. Spade is a spade. Season 4 was a nosedive.
Big nosedive.
It just was, and that was because they didn't treat their animators properly. And I remember being so hyped for season 4 because I was watching Boondocks when I definitely wasn't supposed to in 2005. But when season 4 came out, man, no, I remember the teaser of Huey walking through the city and all this stuff, and I'm like, oh, they finna like really get into some stuff, because we're in like Obama's second term. Like, oh, this finna get real. And like one of the first few episodes was a Breaking Bad parody, and then
rehashing Chris Brown and Rihanna stuff.
And then the slave land. I just like, this is not. It felt like coonskin. I'm gonna say that. I'm done. That's all I'm gonna say. So yeah, because they didn't treat their animators properly.
Yeah. I said it earlier. I'm gonna repeat it. There was a time where all I watched was Boondocks, not because of the political statement, quote unquote, it was making, but simply because I thought it was the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. And that was like no joke. Like, I could probably quote some of these episodes verbatim as far as what it was saying and things like that. But yeah, the Boondocks is top tier. Even though some of Aaron Magruder's viewpoints he was giving in the show, I now question the intent of it, which kind of not dims it, but makes me ask more questions. Definitely, iconic, must watch Black animation. And yes, season 4 was a massive disappointment. Aaron and Avia, Avia and Mike.
I mean, like you said, like it's like I said before, there was a lot of commentary, but in a very comedic way of the Black community. Like, the the way Uncle Ruckus is. Like we all know somebody like that. Like we all know somebody like that. You know, the political statement, like Q said, it was sometimes it was little, but for the most part it made sense, and it was just a very like I said, season 1 through 3 were very well done, like very well done, like masterful adult animation storytelling. And season 4 fell off, and we know which episode got them in hot water. We know which episode got them in hot water.
Always trying to. We're trying to
oils
steal.
and bananas.
Is it a Tyler Perry episode?
Yeah, I thought it was the stealing niggas' money. They're trying to. They're mad because we're taking their money. The BET episode. When they made fun of BET very openly and aggressively. The president, what's her face? They were Deborah Lee. They were very mean. For those who don't know. Yes, she was a Dr. Evil parody in episode. For those who don't know, Aaron Magruder had a subtle let's say hidden jab at BET from time to time. He was very nice to the other analogs in TV, but when it came to BET, he was when he talked about it in the previous season and episodes, he was very much above water. But he decided to do an episode called Hunger Strike, where Huey was going to go on a hunger strike against BET because he was over the programming being just detrimental to black folks. And Aaron Magruder went out of his way to animate. The board of BET gave them the anime evil theme music. Deborah Lee was portrayed as Deborah Evil, and she was basically a Dr. Evil parody.
Welcome to BET headquarters. I'm Deborah Evil. It's 2 p.m., so it's time for a morning staff meeting. Our leader, Bob Johnson, had a dream. A dream of creating a network that would accomplish what hundreds of years of slavery, Jim Crow, and malt liquor couldn't. The destruction of black people!
Yo, sister.
Is that so hard?
One of the infamous scenes was her killing an executive by throwing her stiletto at him and piercing his throat. Needless to say, BET was less than amused, like very, 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 very less than amused. And they had the episode pulled from syndication. It was one of the first examples of an Adult Swim cartoon having a controversial episode that not even Adult Swim wanted to touch because they went hard at Cartoon Network. And if I'm not mistaken, this happened around the same time as the Aqua Teen Hunger Force Boston Bomb promotion thing. So let's just say, if you know that, Cartoon Network was not trying to have any more controversy. So they pulled the episode. You can only watch it on home video. I think it's on HBO Max or Hulu. I'm gonna have to check that out. But yeah, Mike, you were gonna say something beforehand.
I'm gonna keep my comments to myself.
Look, no, I would say I think
my comments are too controversial, so I'm gonna be quiet.
No, it was that was hilarious. No, say it, Mike. Say it.
Say it.
Oh my God!
Because
I'll add to it. I'm gonna add to what Q said. I'll add to what Q said. I think it's hilarious that when they did that, that obviously pissed off Magruder and Co. And when they did the Tyler Perry episode and made Tyler Perry Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror, and then he threatened TNT and all of Time Warner, like he was gonna pull everything from anything associated with Warner. And that was like the final nail in the coffin for Boondocks, in my opinion. And
the Hunger Strike is on HBO Max.
Okay.
Well, I'm about to watch it.
That's hilarious. Like, I'm sorry, that shit was hilarious.
Huh?
No, I'm saying what you say. What did you say, Mike?
I said I'm gonna watch it as soon as we finish this.
That's hilarious. Like, I mean, Viacom did what they did, They did, they got look, a hit dog will holler, and if BET owned by Viacom got an issue with Boondocks for saying they were corrupting black youth's minds, then I mean, here's what it is. I think the funniest scene was though when we got to everybody and this one black dude, he said, "Man, fuck BET. I'm gonna read a book."
Yeah. Yes, that's one of the most famous lines from the episode was from that. They were big mad, y'all. Like I know y'all like you have like you literally have to go back and like do research at the time because BET was furious at the Boondocks because they're like, why are you this black cartoon talking down on a like why are you
Say what you want to say, Mike.
no for like please because like I'm
not saying it.
No,
oh
Mike,
my god.
Like, that's how I
and now he being funny cutting in and out.
Ooh, where my drink at?
Go on your red Q.
See, we didn't even hear it because Mike went in and out. But I'm just gonna pretend he said something, which doesn't even need to pretend because I know he said something profound. But let's wrap. I gotta say this. You know, we've talked about black animation, but I would like to speak to all of animation, and I would like to speak specifically about New Deal for animation. Now, if you've paid attention to our channel within the last couple of months, we've been blessed to have on the incredible Korean Engel, director of many episodes of cartoons, whether it be from Unikitty, Teen Titans Go, Jellystone, the list goes on. Watch those episodes, follow her on social media, watch Jellystone, all of the whole nine. And that helped us learn about the New Deal for Animation initiative, which is essentially about paying animators what they're owed, which is a lot because they do a lot and they are asked to do a lot and they get very little in return. And this is me speaking singularly. No one asked me to say this. This is this is just from my observation. But there are a lot of people out there in the YouTube space who cover animation who have been too silent for my liking about this. And as much as I'm 100% sure things like Pibby and the panty raid scene from SpongeBob being restored and all of that stuff, whatever, it's cool. Or, Sonic 2, which I loved, all of that. There is nothing more important than voicing your support of this. And I'm very disappointed in what I've seen from the Saber Sparks of the world, from the Nintendo, from basically anyone who covers animation consistently on their YouTube channels who have a larger following than us. I am basically demanding that change because I don't care about your opinion on animation if you're not willing to fight for animation. And not in one video, not in a tweet thread that you do once and not touch it. But, you guys reach out to these folks if it's about lost media or whatever the case may be, or if you want to, get clarification on what the meaning of this is. But let's reach out for more important things. Let's voice our support in more important ways. This isn't something that should be forgotten about. Now, with MD, we are a multi-entertainment. We are entertainment. What's the word? What are we called, Aaron?
Entertainment reporters.
That is us. We are entertainment reporters, and that means our purview is basically anything that we both enjoy and we find relevant. But animation is a very, very big part of MD. It's something that we all greatly enjoy. Aaron and Avia on ANA, their first episodes and probably more episodes revolve around animation, animated movies, the Disney Renaissance, the whole nine. Myself, my favorite thing that I love to talk about both seriously and as a recurring joke is an animated movie, Into the Spider-Verse. Mike loves all of the animation. He loves consuming it, whether it's anime and Sailor Moon or traditional and Scooby-Doo and all these other things. His favorite animated movie, Little Mermaid. He loves all of those things. We will not waste any opportunity to not talk about, if we feel the need to talk about animation, we will. And I need y'all to do a better job at this. You know, I genuinely do. This is very important because I don't want these hardworking individuals to have to settle for less when they are the forerunners in a lot of creativity. So I'm putting it out there. I don't know how many of y'all will even see this, but I'm gonna say it regardless. Do better. You know, I don't like do better. Do better than this. Support your animators. Make the noise necessary. Stop trying to prove you're smarter than animators, because I know a lot of y'all are very bad at that in terms of your critique. I'm looking at y'all, your Cuphead critiquers with with the way y'all handled that, which is poorly. Do better at that and fight for this big thing, because you know y'all know the score, probably know it better than me, and that means y'all should know that this is something worth fighting for, because Black animation is already on the lower part of the totem pole. The last thing we need is for the totem pole to be destroyed completely. And yeah, do better. Support your animators. Make the noise. Tweet out hashtag New Deal for Animation. Follow animators that you love, that you know worked on your favorite cartoon, anime, etc. And just do what you got to do, because y'all are not doing what needs to be done. You're not giving what it's supposed to give, as the young ones say. So that's my rant. Facts.
Yep.
He said what he said.
Yes. So thank y'all.
Oh my God.
What?
Oh, I had it where one of my fingers was disappeared.
Oh.
So
just to be clear, that was a no on Coonskin. That was a no on Coonskin.
Yes, that's
yes, that was a no on Coonskin. That was an absolutely not. Do not. No go. Avoid. Do not. Unless you want a bad time. Unless you want to see some of the most abhorrent examples of racism, homophobia, transphobia, any type of anti-minority imagery.
I don't know. I mean, we
here's
still
what
gotta
I
go
say.
on first.
Here's what I say. If you do watch it, it shows you what not to do. So whatever they do, do the exact opposite of that.
Exactly.
And hopefully y'all smart enough to do that. Spoilers. Some of these people, and I'm not talking about animators, I'm talking about movie people specifically, ain't smart enough. But in any case, we've been MD. I've been Quamon Star G. These have been Mike, Avia, and Aaron. They don't like to do individual outros anymore. They say that's played out. They said, don't you ask us to do that, or Q, we will come to Memphis and beat your legs. So no more of that.
Maybe in a month.
I hope so. Maybe. But in any case, we have been MD. Thank y'all for tuning in and sticking with us. This has been a long topic and we like talking about it. But we will see y'all later. Everybody say peace.
Peace. Peace. Peace. Peace.